Hey guys, welcome back to Project Cummins. Today what we're going to have going on in the shop is we're going to be doing the left and right side bed rails. We're going to be coating them with Herculiner. We just kind of wanted to give you a step-by-step of how we're doing it. As you notice, that's the Herculiner setup from when we did a part of the project before. And we also have back there the tailgate on from the project last time. And we gave you a step-by-step of how to do that. So let's just jump into things here today. All you need if you're doing this project is some masking tape, a hand sander, or a DA sander if you have one available to you, some grit paper. I will be using 50 because it's just kind of what I have laying around. The grit really doesn't matter as long as you get things done correctly. A towel, dry, and then later on we'll be needing to use it wet. And of course, Herculiner. And this is a gallon that I have mixed up already that I used from doing the tailgate. And to keep the humidity and the moisture out and whatnot, I have a plastic bag over the open can because the lid wouldn't go all the way down. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be finding out where we want the level to go for the bed rail. And how we're going to be doing that is we're going to be painting all of this on this side and down into here. And we're going to be painting these side of the bed rails. But we have to decide just how far down it is we want to go and how far back. Now, as kind of a guide for what we got going on here, what we're going to do is come back around, take a nice look at this tailgate, see how that one worked out for us. And as you can see with the tailgate down, the application worked really, really well. Sticks really nice. Did a great job. Came out looking very, very aesthetically pleasing. As we lift up, we can see that we did this lip. Go ahead and back up and show you that there. We did that lip on the corner because we wanted to protect as much of the bed as we could. And this will protect, things on the edge here that don't fit in the bed altogether, and gives us a nice clean look on the sides. So what we're going to have to decide here is how far down we want this to come. Do we want to follow it all the way around, or are we going to want it to come down a little more? We're going to have to see. But to do that, we have to take some measurements here to see how far this one comes down. I also have old bed rails that went on the truck, and I'm going to see how far they came down and measure between the two to see if there's, something that we can work with an all pre-line. But even before I go do that, as you can see, the truck is dusty. So the whole truck, the whole bed needs kind of cleaned. And, we got to wipe all this down, and then we'll get to measuring here. Okay, so as you can see the sheen coming off of this paint, I went ahead and I took a dry towel and I just wiped it all down, got all that dust and dirt off of it. And as you can see here, we have one of the old bed rails on. Not attached or anything, just kind of laying in place. And I kind of like the way it sits because it matches up almost perfectly with the line that we made here recently. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set a few things on this so it doesn't move. I'm going to go ahead and get the line tape all the way down through here, and then we can go ahead and mask it off so that we have a matching line with this and with this. So let's go ahead and do that and see what it looks like. Okay, so as we have here, we have the masking tape on already, that our green masking tape that is for automotive paint. And as you can see, it's just below that bed cap. Now as we take it off here, you can see how much it is that we're planning on sanding and painting. It doesn't really come down a whole lot, it's just to protect that lip. And on the other side, we've done the same. Now, a pretty little warning here, whenever you're turning an edge or doing something of that nature, you always kind of want to make sure that you get it as round as possible coming around here. As you can see, I've had to use a couple pieces of tape, which is fine because just like that old saying is to measure twice and cut once, you want to tape, 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 tape. Yes, those are somewhat similar. So now that they're all taped up, we're going to go ahead and get our sandpaper ready, and we're going to get to sanding. Okay, now that we get the bed rail off, you can see that we have our hand sander prepped. The sandpaper is on. You just want to come onto the surface, scruff all this up, and you want to be able to get all the shiny gloss off. See how nice reflective that is? We want to sand down into the paper a little bit so that we can get our fine line. Also, we want to be able to do the back and the lip right here. That's all we're going to be doing this time, is just these bed rails. Everything else will be for a later video. So you want to get into pieces like this. See how that's down to like a primer and scruff and scratches? See how nice deep scratches now? Let me get a towel here. As you can see a lot of the primer. Get a couple deep scratches, but that's what you want. You want something like this that's really nice and scuffed up. See, it's no longer nice and shiny like that. Now we got this. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here on the majority of the bed rails, and we'll see what we come up with. This is one side of the bed rail. You can see it's pretty damn good scuffed up with that 50. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe off some of this here so you can get a closer look. And I'd like to point out that I hope you people are wearing dust masks, because this can be really bad for you to breathe in. Okay. So it's all nice and scuffed up. Okay, we're not going to wipe all this down because it's going to get just as dirty from doing the other side. So, just wanted to show you what it kind of looks like. You got all the shininess off, and now you're just down to like a mixture of paint and primer. So we'll go ahead and do the other side and we'll be back. Okay, now all sides of the bed rail has been grinded down with the 50 grit sandpaper. We did run into a few spots with some rust, so we had to take a little bit extra time and get that down to bare metal. It's very important to have no rust. You don't want to be painting over rust, because rust will continue. Rust is cancer. So it will continue to spread if you leave it. So what we're going to do now is going to wipe down these bed rails as good as we can, get all the dust off of them, and we're going to start mixing up some paint. Okay, now that the bed rails are wiped down, what we want to do is mix up our paint. When we come in here and take a look, you'll kind of see, if you just dip it with a stick and let it run, it's extremely watery. All the good stuff is down at the bottom. And you got to remember, this is a two-part, well, it might be more than two parts, but two parts that I'm most familiar with would be the polyethylene and rubber. The rubber, being heavier, sinks down at the bottom. You just kind of stir it up here, get everything nice and mixed. And if you don't use all the gallon at once, you can do what I did and just put the lid back on best you can. And for safety, you can go ahead and put it in a bag and close up the bag, get all the air out of it. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a look here. Oh yeah, much better. See all the clumps in there? Now if you have major clumps, and I mean like size of nuts falling out, yeah, that's not mixed up good enough. So you just want to kind of keep going until it's the perfect mixture that you want to work with. Okay, let me finish mixing this up and get it out of the way, and we'll start painting. Okay, so we got our brush, we got our paint. Nice dry surface, everything's scuffed on. So now we're just going to get some paint. Gonna travel on over to the other end here, and we're going to just start brushing her down. Nice and light. Remember, it's just going to be our first coat. 2, possibly in 3 coats is what you want to shoot for on this thing. So as we're going ahead and dabbing this all on, I'm going to kind of go over a couple of things that I like about this product so far. Of course, it is a water, gasoline, and chemical resistant. Like I was saying earlier, it's made out of polyethylene and rubber. Now, if you can remember back when we did the 2-inch leveling kit from, I think it was Daystar Comfort Ride series, that was made out of polyethylene. Now, I mean, if polyethylene can hold up the front of my truck and all of its weight, and if you think about it, the motor, the Cummins motor, is roughly 900 to 1,000 pounds. And the front end of that truck, well, I can't remember exactly how heavy it is, but it is one heavy truck. Now, if polyethylene could safely hold all that up, plus bouncing up and down the road, I would say that's a pretty good candidate to say that it's going to hold up against, wear and tear in your bed. Especially when it cures up nicely and so forth and whatnot. Now, when they advertise you can paint all of your bed, all in one shot, everything, in one day, and let it sit up and cure for another day or half a day, 12 hours, I believe it was, and then it's ready to use. Well, a couple things you want to keep in mind here, a couple factors. For example, the weather. If it's cool out like it is today, it's only about 50 degrees, it's going to take a little longer. And the bed is in the garage, so I'm not really worried about a time frame. Of course, like I said, this has become a project truck for me. So, you really want to plan carefully as to how you're going to paint this. What kind of time frame you're going to have, how much you're going to need. And for how much you're going to need, if you take a look right on the can, a 6-foot bed only needs a gallon, but an 8-foot bed needs a gallon and a quarter. So that's something you want to keep in mind when buying this product. Oh yeah, it goes on real nice and thin. So like I was saying, polyethylene and rubber. Polyethylene, good stuff. Rubber, of course rubber's good. Rubber's on your tires, rubber's on part of the road, rubber's on a lot of things that keeps things durable, keeps things lasting. And that is why I've chosen this product for my bed. Now, as you can see, it doesn't really take much to put this on, but I am kind of running out of room where I can only do this with one hand. So I need to get moving the can and get it around to the bed and the insides and so forth and whatnot. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of work here, and we're going to check back in and rate as soon as we're done. Okay, we've been working out of here for a little while now, and you can kind of see, let's see if I can't get around this without touching the paint. As you can see, it's looking really well. Now, some of you have already asked and are wondering, why am I doing this in separate segments, or whatever you want to call it, channels, shows, whatever. Why don't I do the whole bed like I plan on, just all at once? Well, one is not everybody is buying Herculiner because they want to do the whole bed top to bottom. Some people only buy a quart, and they only want to do a few things or make patchwork. So if you just want to do the bed rails and make it look nice, well, I just showed you a video on how to do it. And if you only want to do bits and pieces here, well, then that's all you do. But if you want to do the whole bed, just like I'm doing, just stay tuned and you'll see more of it. Now, since we're out of getting a bit of a lack of light here in the garage, and I seem to have a burnt bulb, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video a little bit short. I don't really mean to, but because of the circumstances, I kind of have to. So what you want to do is you want to let this set up. You want to let that set up for, we'll say an hour. An hour is a good rule of thumb. But if you're in the kind of weather I am, where it's about 50 degrees out, you want to do it for about 2 hours. 70 to 80, 1 hour. And as soon as you paint the second coat on, what you do, and don't do this at home unless you're done, but I'm going to do it now so I can show you how to do it. Once you have the second coat on, immediately, as soon as you can, clean everything up, put it all away, and come back here within 20 minutes. Come back here and take your tape and just start peeling. Take it on down and just start peeling. Now you can see how great that's going to look when it's all done. Just the bed cap just went over just a little bit. Now we're going to do that the whole way down. But I have to replace the tape because I am not done. I am not done. I'll just tap around in there. Now I suggest you not do this. One, you get it on your hands and it does not want to come off. I've had some of this on my hands for about a week now. It will not come off. And which is good. I mean, because, you know, that's what you bought the product for. So, you just want to keep that on there. And I hope nothing messes that up by me showing you that. Now, what you want to do, after you did your quick dry, get it nice and tacky dry, you want to come back, do your second coat, take off the tape, and let it sit up for about 12 to 24 hours. That's a good rule of thumb. That way you can make sure that it's secured and safe to and ready to be used. So for now, that's all we're going to do today here on Project Cummins. But if you want to see more things being done to my Dodge Ram, more specifically I should say, my Dodge Ram Cummins, then just stay tuned here to Project Cummins and more videos will be coming your way. See you later.